Start.
Okay, guys. I thought I would address an eternal confusion that many of us have in our minds. See, we have watched a number of movies showing rather dramatically the phenomenon of possession. Possession by the evil spirit, possession by demons, possession by people who have been lost. So all this have left in our minds doubts whether possession is something real or something imaginary. Meanwhile, the field of psychology speaks about two distinctive phenomena. One is called schizophrenia. Schizophrenia, when translated into English, would mean split mind. The situation where a person perceives the real as unreal and the unreal as real. A person's mood swings from depression to excitement and vice versa frequently. There is another phenomenon which can be abbreviated as DID, dissociative identity disorder. Dissociative identity disorder, which is closer to the phenomenon called possession. So let's take a look at the slide to understand what is possession. Slide.
Start.
So the picture rather dramatically depicts many persons behind one person. The phenomenon of dissociative identity disorder is a case where a person's behavior fluctuates from one person to another. In the sense, he may behave like Harry in the morning. He may behave like Tom, who is no more, in the afternoon. And maybe next day he may behave like someone else. So this is a case where a personality holds many other personalities within. And the person shifts from one personality to the other. You would have seen this in a number of movies, where a child behaves like an adult, or an adult behaves like a child, or an adult behaving like another adult at some points of time. This is what is known as dissociative identity disorder. Though the medical science attributes good number of reasons for the same. If you ask any psychiatrist or psychologist to pinpoint the real causative for dissociative identity disorder, the answer would be, I don't know, and the medical science also doesn't know. Back to me. Okay, so you have seen instances where the psychologists and psychiatrists simply express their inability to pinpoint a causative or an etiology for the phenomenon called schizophrenia or DID, dissociative identity disorder. See, they might say changes in brain chemistry or changes in mood, sometimes extreme depressive situations, etc., etc. You can accept all this, but then I'm going to tell you a situation where all these explanations fail utterly, and the only possible explanation is the phenomenon called possession. See, let's say there have been many instances of a person behaving exactly like another person. If that second person is known to the first one, we can possibly, the medical science, psychology and psychiatry can possibly presume that because that person was so close to this person and this person is missing the other person, his mind actually is playing a trick on him that the other person is still with him, and then he tries to emulate him or mimic him or whatever. But there have been several instances where, let's say, John has never seen, heard of another person, let's say Steve. But he behaves exactly like Steve when there is this dissociative identity disorder. His words are similar to, sometimes Steve may be speaking French. John doesn't understand French even. John speaks English. But during this period of identity disorder, John speaks excellent French, exactly like Steve. And now at this point, if you ask a psychologist or a psychiatrist, what is happening? He would simply say, I just don't know. Because Steve doesn't know French. Steve doesn't know the second person. Now, how can someone who doesn't know a language speak that language fluently without any mistake when in a state of identity disorder? So, all this points to one answer only. Medical science has no answer in many instances of DID. In those instances, the one and only answer is the good old possession. So let me underscore the fact. Though many instances of dissociative identity disorder can be explained as due to affection, affinity, closeness, proximity of an individual to another, there are a large number of instances where every single explanation offered by psychology and medical science fails utterly, and the only possible explanation is possession of one soul by the departed soul. Thank you very much.